Hello, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to the Feywild. In particular, welcome back to Prismere, as we have returned to this little domain of delights, fractured and corrupted by a trio of hags known as the Hourglass Coven. And our heroes are here for various reasons. As Stephanie freezes, like she's about to. Oh no, she's okay. Your camera just froze, like you're looking at like you're about to sneeze. You're like,
oh no!
no. It's okay. You defeated the sneeze. You're okay. You're okay. A massive welcome to my wonderful players. It's lovely to see you all again, and everyone in chat as well. Thank you for joining us already. It's a pleasure to have you all here, and I hope that you are well as you over there in the VOD squad. Thank you for catching up with our adventures wherever and whenever you can. If you would like to head on over to our YouTube channel, you can have access to all of those VODs of all of the things. Once I catch up, I have quite a backlog to get uploaded. I am working on it as quickly as I can. But yes, if our good friend Willie can throw us the socials in the chat there, you can see the link and jump over there and get yourself in the VOD squad too. You can see all of our old campaigns, our Descent into Avernus and the Curse of Strahd, and all of those good things, and catch up with all of our current shenanigans too. Thank you very much, sir. There is also a Twitter and Instagram for you to enjoy at your leisure. Now, as we are continuing here on our adventures, let us also say a massive thank you to the wonderful people at CZRPG, sponsoring the channel at the moment and giving all of you the opportunity to win fabulous encounter bundles for the various locations that we are gallivanting through. For example, today you can win yourself a copy of their incredible Encounters in the Feywild, one of which I believe our players might stumble across today. We shall see, we shall see. Now, as we are getting things rolling here, let me kick off that giveaway without further ado so that all of you can jump on in there and get very excited. We shall draw the winner at the end of the session. Do not worry if you are unable to hang out with us for the entirety. We will be sending you the details in your whispers or on Discord if we are connected that way. Regardless of whether you are here or not, we understand people being busy and having things to do. And very happy that you can spend your time with us for however long you are able. Start giveaway. When that pops up on the chat there in a minute. There it is. Okay, yes. Please, if you are so inclined, !enter in chat and you can win your chance. Nope, get your chance to win. You have to win the chance to win. It's double barrel thing here. No. You can get your chance to win the fabulous Feywild encounters, which can be used in any Feywild campaign, not just Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and also any mysterious woodland or fantastical natural environment which you would care to do so. There are lots and lots of different encounters at different levels that you can enjoy. So please, !enter to get yourself in our giveaway for today, and we'll find out who the lucky winner is later on. Now, a massive thank you again to CZRPG for sponsoring the channel at the moment. Also, a big shout out to Sirenscape. Head on over to sirenscape.com and get yourself a free 30-day trial and get all sorts of beautiful music and sound effects in your games. They have official content from Wizards of the Coast. They have Pathfinder stuff. They have Call of Cthulhu stuff. They have science fiction stuff, fantasy stuff, board game stuff, all kinds of things. A very fancy, nice, new, easily searchable search thing. And all of the things that make all that atmosphere and things very, very, very enjoyable indeed. If you love them very much like we do, you can become a Super Siren subscriber and have access to all of that at your tables, be they virtual or in person, wherever you like to play. Now, they are not the only sources of music we like. That YouTube channel we mentioned before, you can also jump over there, and in the information boxes for all of those VODs, we have the links to all the lovely channels that have access to music that you are free to use in your games. And because, Charlie, I believe we had lost you towards the end of the session yesterday, and I don't think you saw the mysterious new command that I was teasing you with at the start of the session.
Yeah, the one that was thwarting me through the whole thing.
It's very specific and completely unrelated to Wild Beyond the Witchlight, but I will pop it in chat just now. We have a sound set in Sirenscape that's very popular. A certain collection of battle music, when a certain collection of wandering Vistani gets involved in the fray. So, a command of Vistani will send you in the direction of Dubioza Collectif and Noah on YouTube, and you too can get access to that fantastic music.
I was gonna guess that.
I was saying it was very specific
You're
to a
like,
certain group of people in this campaign. Maybe
You said it had something to do with the campaign. And all your campaigns are linked, John. I'm like,
Well,
Lucky versus.
That's a fair point.
yeah, it was.
I think.
Remember the hype train dogs? Remember the hype train dogs?
Never forget. As you, I'm always looking for more opportunities to play this. I think this may become the Harangon battle music as well. Just to, just to say, we need more opportunities to play it. Right. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So yes, do head on over there and enjoy that. Once we are done for today. Now, let us, without further ado, think carefully for a moment. Have I forgotten it? Yes, of course I've forgotten something. The fantastic Evan Blair Art is the creator of our beautiful character art. Oop. Head on over to all of their socials there, Twitter and Twitch and Instagram, and you may also be able to commission them to create beautiful, beautiful pieces like this. So the beauty of them is somewhat lost in the small the small images that we have on screen here. But just the attention to detail and all the minute things is so cool. Please enjoy. Oh, and here is our friend Frictionless Dan, another kind sponsor and creator of beautiful content for the Feywild and beyond. Please do check them out on their DM's Guild stuff. Boom! There it is. And there's some Twitter goings on there as well. Dan, if you would be so inclined, and I believe we have already agreed to this, we will be giving another Frictionless Dan giveaway away next time, as I believe our adventurers are headed in the direction of a mysterious moose-headed serpent that they had heard about in the Slanty Tower. Yes, that will give us another chance to delve into the mind of Frictionless Dan. Yes, Corey?
No, just
Moose-headed serpent. Moose-headed serpent. Okay, now, as we continue on here, a massive thank you to everyone who's supporting us, and another massive thank you to everyone who came out last weekend. And I can say it to your big lovely face again, Mr. Charlie. You in particular.
Say it to my community.
And your beautiful, glorious, wonderful community. Thank you so much for all of that support. Blown away as always, in particular by the DM Charlie community. We ambitiously decided to try and keep our goal similar to last time, which was a 1 week long 9-stream event, whereas this was a weekend long 3-stream event. But we got even more than we did last time, and just went over the goal there and ended up at an incredible $2,645 headed towards Jasper's Game Day and all of the wonderful things that they do and the great work that they do. Thanks again to all of you who donated and watched and supported and spread the word on Twitter and the likes. And, of course, to our wonderful players, Charlie for moderating chats and helping with all of the background stuff. And just, yes, absolutely wonderful stuff. And I can't wait to gather more exciting players and do more exciting things in the future. So keep your eyes peeled. One place to do that is over on our Discord. If you are not already, give us a follow, and you can get into our followers Discord, where you get all of the sneak peeks about the news before it's out in the wild. And you can also share your projects, and please jump in there. Oh, Jospro, thank you so much. Thank you. That's your Frostmaiden player, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jahan, the Death Monk.
Jahan. Yeah, when John is not enough. Jahan.
Yeah, Jahan.
Japanese people, for some reason, always spelt my name Jhon instead of John. I'm not sure why. And so when I used to DJ here before I became DJ Phoenix, which is where Phoenix comes from originally, I was DJ Jahan back in my younger days when this Japanese city of ours had a club scene, which it does not anymore. Mostly because we retired, I'm proud to say. Although it's a shame. It's a shame for the city, but hey. Anyway, good times. Before this old fella on his rocking chair on the porch gets too nostalgic, let us barrel on forwards. As we jump into tonight's session, we will catch you up on what is going on in the story and who these four lovely people are after a quick word from our wonderful friend Patch at QuestJunkiesUK and his beautiful, beautiful introduction for Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Okay, there we go. Welcome. Yes, the wonderful work of Patch from QuestJunkiesUK. There is their Twitch channel, and I believe I have a patch command in here. Patch! Just shout at chat.
Patch command!
Patch! Commanded. There he is.
There it is.
Do you remember the old ELO song, Flash? Dun 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 dun. Patch! Ah!
I just sang that.
Wasn't it?
Literally just
Right?
sang
You
that.
made videos for all of us.
I didn't hear you.
Wasn't it Queen?
I was like,
Wasn't it
Patch,
Queen?
ah.
Maybe
I thought
it was Queen.
I thought it was Queen.
Yeah,
No,
it was
it's
Queen.
for,
Yeah,
for Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anytime you mention any relation to that thing, I just get my mind just gets filled of images of Brian Blessed.
Yeah.
Gordon's alive. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Excuse us. This glorious Valkyrie. Oh, we need to get some Valkyries or some kind of equivalent in the game so we can do Brian Blessed impressions.
That would be awesome.
It's a glorious human being. Okay, right. Welcome back, everybody. Now, last time we were here in Prismere, in the opening area that we found ourselves, the swampy morass that is Hither, the location of Hither, ruled over by one Bavlorna, the evil hag and member of the Witchlights, no, the Hourglass Coven. Sorry, mixing up my covens and my carnivals. We had ventured within the confines of the Slanty Tower. Thanks again to Frictionless Dan for the wonderful extra content. And venturing up through the interior, they had found Wova, the faithful shadow hound of the owner of this of this tower. And as you clambered up, looking through, you triggered a few traps and eventually found yourself in the top of the tower, where you found the little fairy dragon knight who you had been questing to save and rescue from their predicament. As you found your way up to the top of the tower and were able to rescue them, quote unquote. I mean, they are still locked in a small silver cage, which is magically sealed and thwarted your attempts to bust them out. But it
An attempt was made.
And the attempt was made. But it was up there that you met Elma. Elma, yes. The previous plumber, without dungarees and a moustache, who would used to travel around this domain, fixing the Owells, as they were the popular hangout spots for the Fae of the region, where they would gather and swap stories and chat about goings-on before the Hourglass Coven descended upon the region. They had made an unfortunate deal with Bavlorna, the hag here in Hither, and they had been cursed and changed into an Etekap, a spider-like humanoid, and they were hiding away in their tower here, bemoaning their ill luck and battling against the terrible Wabbits, aka the Herongon bandits of this region. Hence the overflowing barrels of carrots with the trap on the floor right next to them in the ground floor, as they had been raided by the Harengon bandits earlier before. You talked with him and convinced him that you would right the wrongs of Bavlorna and remove his curse by any means possible, and you would quest in his name, and by the laws of reciprocity, you gained his promise to release Satolivar, the dragon, the little fairy dragon knight from the Summer Queen's court, who had been captured by Bavlorna during his spy mission into her soggy domain. You heard from Elma that there is a strange beast. A beast you'd seen sketches of in a book lower down in the tower, of a moose-headed serpent-like creature up in the far top corner of the realm. I feel north and east and things like that are redundant in places like this. But yes, in the top right corner of the realm, let's just say, you discovered, and hats off to Frictionless Dan for taking an artistic doodle and license of the fabulous artist of these maps here. There you can see said moose-headed serpent. Whoa, steady. And a little island with a hut on top and a cave in the side. That was all Frictionless Dan needed for his imagination to take over and fabulous things to be created. But I do not want to spoil things too much, so let us leave that locale and return to our giant snail-mounted friends. There you are. Daisha, you are mounted upon your gallant beast.
Yes. My sweet babe.
And which Emin seems not too keen on for some reason. I'm not sure. Anyway, exactly. This small armored frog clearly has a picture of a frog on its face. It must be a frog.
His legs are broken. He can't jump. Don't talk about it. Makes him feel bad.
For some reason, he only has 1 foot.
Indeed. Now, you had heard that this mysterious beast, the Watcher, contains a vast knowledge and is wise in the ways of many things and might be able to help you in your quest to free the Fairy Dragon Knight, as you are searching for a key, a particular key to this particular cage, which is apparently missing and no longer in the possession of Bavlorna. It was suggested that you head in that direction to seek out their wisdom. And that is where we return to. Atop the slanty tower. Back to you, my friends.
How is everyone? From memory, everyone was partially dying.
As you do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all right.
Okay, that makes 1.
And I feel as though I have spent the evening, no, maybe 2 evenings. No, let's call it 3 evenings, drinking the schnapps and eating the streusel. I am not feeling what you would say oh so well. I am not okay.
I'm passed out, am I not?
I don't believe we woke you up. I believe you're stabilized, but I don't believe we've woken you up.
Correct. Okay. That's what I remembered, but if someone snuck a good berry in there, I was like, I don't remember.
Oh,
Okay.
I definitely remember sneaking you a good berry. I just don't know if it was enough to wake you.
I think no, because Goodberry is a magical healing, so that would work. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I'm up.
At the end of the last combat, at the end of the encounter, our last session 2 weeks ago, all of us were conscious and awake and interacting with Elmer, because I remember everybody was upset that Willie made the agreement to
Yes.
get his thumbs back.
Yes, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
It's like you.
Emin and Corey were dismayed at the amount of promises that had been made.
It was like 6. Like Corey says, turning to M. 6. That's as nearly as many fingers he's going to lose if he doesn't do it right.
What?
Sorry.
Elmer is quite a bit nervous about talk of loss of fingers.
Oh, that was supposed to be in a hushed tone. Apologize.
It's a
And
very,
apologies if you heard me.
a very cramped environment.
Yes.
And maybe we should go.
You want to go out when not one but 2 people have passed out rather recently?
I am thinking if it would be alright, Elma, might we like curl up in front of your stove downstairs and take a nice nap?
This place is, alas, not designed or built for company. I must dwell on my shortcomings. Please, leave me be.
Understood. We will not make any further requests of you. I am thinking, maybe was there not the caves that we espied on our way here to this tilted slanty tower?
Well, before or after we were beset by absolute bouncy morons?
I believe it was directly after.
If we can find somewhere.
I am just of the
I've slept in
opinion that
worse, but
Yeah, and I am of the opinions that all of us could do with an evening's rest and attack our problems tomorrow with a fresh new outlook.
If we can't,
You seek somewhere, maybe the local village. There is a small habitation of Eladrin. They have an inn where visitors used to frequently stay before the mists closed in.
Oh, I have read of these elves. They change their appearance like the seasons, correct? In
I
accordance
glance
with
at
their
my
mood.
hand. Empathy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This would be very fascinating. Perhaps I won't get sleep after all. I am down to go.
let's go! And very, like, clumsily, because Daisha is like down and out. She's gonna like stumble down the stairs.
I think the automatic reaction from Corey is to try and grab you and help you down the stairs, remembering that it's dark and also that you can see in the dark.
Yeah, you're coming.
Yes, no, I am coming, dear. Also turns around to Elma. Tell your dog I said hi. They seemed rather sweet.
Wova!
The goodest
Good boy.
boy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him yourself.
Mm-hmm. I suppose Corey, as they're leaving, is very much a now. Try not to bite too many more of my friends, shall we? Thank you. Good boy. And I chuck a little bit more rabbit at them because I have a little bit spare.
Bad dog. As Daisha goes down the stairs.
Doing their duty, as we all must.
And Elma looks very pleased with that. She's like, Have you been hunting wabbits too?
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
Are you okay?
Yes, I can't
Alright.
say that they're my favorite. Mhm.
Willie
So-
will just reach out and grab somebody's shoulder as they proceed down through the dark middle section of the slanty tower, trying not
It's
to.
it's like a conga line, and the only person not holding on is Em.
Yeah, Emin like seeing like Corey kind of like hoisting Daisha's weight, knowing that he would not have the strength to do so, he'll kind of just like fly over them, forgetting about the pitch dark in the like the floor 2 floors down.
Mhm.
And he'll be like, better you than me. And
And Willie, before you descend into the tower, you hear a voice. Good Sir Warlock. I suppose. You will be taking me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Willie will.
Rather not languish here.
So yes, absolutely. I will walk up the stairs and hook my finger under the ring at the top of the cage, and
It's like a a medium-sized bird cage. It's not too bad.
I shall endeavor to keep you very safe, Sir Talavat.
And I, in return, good sir, will protect you if you can bring your enemies next to the cage.
We are going to have the most wonderful discussions, you and I. Master Elma, we shall see you again soon. Auf Wiedersehen. And then bumble my way down into the dark. Clump,
I would
clump,
like
clump.
to
Oh,
think-
Scheiße!
May the summer.
I'd like
So, go for it. Corey, Corey.
I'd like to think that Corey hears Soltelava's coming, and there's like a. So
Oh,
I'm not
good.
sure if he's alright. Yes, no.
Your friend's coming.
Yes, excellent company. Absolutely entertaining. All
I
right.
think you're a liar. And
Yeah, from the
continue
top of the
stumbling
stairs,
down.
Corey will hear Willie's voice. Oh, I would absolutely love to hear the tale of your entire life.
Well, it all began with.
You
it's
go
just
on, so fascinating.
constant pitter patter in the background.
Just make sure they don't die.
Elma descends with you, and as you get to the ground floor, he looks in slight dismay. He's like, I see. You found my herringon trap. I shall have to clean up. And he says, the village of Mudchuckle lies that way. And he points
I'm
top
sorry.
rightwards.
Did you just say mud chuckle, as in wet dirt laughing?
Mudchuckle is the name of the village, yes.
Seems simple enough to remember.
It would be most interesting to learn the etymology of that word.
Perhaps it involves the mud and laughing.
Probably our hot springs making the bubbling pop 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 hoppy hoppy sound. We shall soon see.
I could use a bath.
Now,
Yes.
who's in the lead?
I get on Abbott.
Yeah.
Abbott's
I'm keeping an
outside.
eye on-
Yeah. Who's?
Oh.
I'm keeping an eye
so
on
Di-
Daisha.
Yeah, Daisha, you leading the way. You push open the door, and the daylight spills in. But it's a very different view. During your time
Not again.
in the tower, the Olwells seem to have erupted in water, as they periodically do, as Corey, you have come to learn. And as you
Yes.
open, you see the Everglades, basically, for our Floridians here.
Ooh, how local, John!
As the forest floor is disappeared. You can still see the trees and the tops of some of those brambles where they climb up onto the edge of the building, onto the tower. But the whole area that you walked through to approach the tower is completely submerged in water.
Of course it is.
Based on when we approached and knowing how tall the stairs were climbing up to the bottom of the door frame, what roll would you like for Willie to determine how deep the water is?
No roll required at all. You just need to wade in and see how far it goes. Unless you want to use your memory of how tall the tower was off the ground.
Yes, that's what I'm wanting.
If you insist.
Well, so we're not wading in and like, I am wondering if it is. All right, so a history.
I think we just get the if we're carrying on with the Elmer Fudd kind of cartoon style-esque. There's like you and the dragon are just talking to each other, and you disappear. There's like just bubbles come up, and then you appear on the other side, still talking.
A hat floating. Yeah. All right.
Just a moment, please. Give me an insight check.
One inside out. How is it 25?
Very good indeed.
Ooh. Snaps.
So insightful.
You would gauge that going on the level of the water compared to the raised up stony surface at the entrance of the tower, it is about 5 feet deep. It is not terrible.
But tall
Alright.
enough.
Yeah, so it'll come
But
up
yes, tall
to
enough.
about my...
Anyone without a swimming speed would be at half speed.
Do snails have swimming speeds? I mean frogs.
Abbott's head and the top of his shell would be above the water, so he could just carry on as normal.
Excellent.
You know, he has a few water snails on his on the mother's side.
Is there any, like, I'm looking for flotsam, as in a giant leaf, and some vines.
Nothing immediately, I'm afraid. You remember there was the schematics for a raft in the tower, and there was the bemoaning that it had been lost in the swamp at some point.
We'll keep an eye out.
If someone would like to attempt to master their use, you remember that our friend Elmer had a pair of those swamp stilts, or a set of those swamp stilts, for use at times like this.
Emin is going to pass.
Emma,
not exactly necessary.
Just clamber up on Abbott's shell. You'll be fine.
Can we see Abbott from here?
Abbott, you kind of like, you come back and you're looking at this new scene, just these rippling waters as the eruption of the Owells is continuing, and the waters are shifting and undulating, almost like waves in a relatively calm ocean, as it's lapping up against the base of the tower here. And you all slowly make your way out onto the rocky surface around the tower. And Emin, as you do so, you just like go, as Abbott is just on the wall next to the door. So it's just this massive shell is just right there as you come out of the doorway. And then just these two eye stalks just go look down at you.
So Emin, because Emin was not in the lead, so like as he comes out of the door and he sees Abbott like right there, he's gonna like kind of pull his like little vest like up, like yeah, all right.
Danger?
No, not for you. I'm gonna lay on Abbott's shell, like swim out, paddle, lay on his shell and pat his head and be like, "Oh, he's just a little frog. He's just a little frog. Don't be that way, Emin. Look, he's the shell that he doesn't have. You can't even see it."
So yeah, as Abbott descends off the building into the water, you just see the top part of his long, dexterous neck, let's say neck, and the eye stalks at the top of the head, and then just, I'd say the top third of his shell is out of the water, and he slowly maneuvers next to the rocky outcrop of the tower. And Emin, I assume you will fly, and but the other three of you and your bird cage can
How much
comfortably
room is there on the
you
snail?
can comfortably sit on the shell. Yeah,
Okay. Is it only room for 2 or is it room for 3?
I'd say the three of you will be fine.
I think that
He's a big boy.
Corey is probably going to ask Elma if Elma is offering to use their stilts. If not, and if the permission isn't given, we'll hop on the snail, because I think she'll want to scout, because she's probably one of the healthiest around at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I forget. So you're going to scout ahead.
I'd like to use the stilty wilties, which I've decided to call them, if possible.
Yeah, let me see.
And is that ticking noise still happening?
Outside the tower, no.
Okay, good to know.
Let's have a look
Bloody bizarre.
here. Okay, can you make me an athletics or acrobatics check?
Acrobatics. Ooh, 16.
Okay. The yes, your new Atticap friend shows you the basics of using them, and there are 2 shorter ones for your legs and then longer ones for your arms, so that you're not like down on all fours. You are raised up to the front.
Like
And-
that. That's
yeah.
cool.
There are. This is a random encounter that you can have later on. So I can show you what it looks like as someone else is using it. So sorry, spoilers if you run into these people later on, but
Spoiler!
it's okay. This is what Corey looks like, but with her garb and their get up. Here you are.
Oh, yes,
Whoa.
yes.
Let me get that a bit larger for everybody. Bear with us a moment as it zooms in here.
Lord.
So yes, you strap into the leg ones and use the arm ones at the front, and able
I would
to
say
move at a decent pace.
I would say that maybe the arm ones she has not tied on as tightly, with the goal being that if she needs to reach for a weapon, she can do it, but it might encumber her a little bit.
Yes. Abandoning the arm ones and going just up onto your onto
Oh
the
no,
leg
not
stilts.
abandoning them, just not strapping them down like they are in the picture.
Yep. Also, I mean, if you're going to be using a weapon, you'd have to let go of them to hold onto the weapon.
No, for sure.
You might, if you are successful in did you go athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Yeah, if you're successful in acrobatics when you go up onto just the leg stilts, that will give you the high ground, and as we all know, that means it's all over.
It's all over. I have the high ground.
Now, Willie, a hand was raised.
Oh, I was just gonna meta a little bit and say, as a DM to a DM, oh yeah, I'm gonna strap those huge long boards to my arms. I don't think so.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be okay. We
I
can
won't be able
trust
to
him.
defend myself.
These hobgoblins do okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Okay, so
But I would say, yeah, Corey's gonna scout as as quietly as she can kind of manage. She's looking for somewhere for everyone to rest more than anything else, or this village that's being described, because the majority of the party is
Muchuckle. Indeed.
It's a Muchuckle.
Muchuckle. Yes. Well, if you look at the
Muchuckle.
map, zoom out a little bit here. Muchuckle is actually there. Can you see that little cluster of houses.
Is it the three
Oh.
houses?
Yeah, up here. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a small village.
I mean, yeah, representation of.
Right.
But yes. Now, Corey, you, as you are, as you kind of peered out of the tower, talking about your next course of action. Sorry, just returning to the top floor there for a moment. As you peered out the window past the ensnared balloon, you kind of pointed out to Daisha and Willie the locations here. Emin, you are also aware of this from your time here before, and Emin, you're delighted to see, and Corey, you've learnt about this in your time here before the others arrived. But Emin, you're delighted to see that Telemy Hill is present at the moment. Now, that's the hill over to the right of the slanty tower there, and as you all correctly noted, it does have feet, and that is because Telemy Hill is a wandering hill and passes through the Feywild here and there, although it seems to have been trapped by the mists that have surrounded these different realms here after the hags have moved in. And even with Corey and Emin, Corey, you heard this from our little fairy dragon friend, and Emin, you knew this from your childhood. Telemy Hill even visits the material plane from time to time, when it is free to do so. It is a sentient mountain, but that's all you know about it, really. You haven't ever visited. And Corey, yes, you were aware of this small Eladrin settlement. You had kind of passed through there. A good place to stock up. They have bounteous harvests all the time, and good place to stock up on food and the like. And and then you kind of looked to the north, and just on the edge of your vision as you were peering out from the tower, you could see the giant tree stump peering up out of the mists. Now, you can't... The swamp is more obscured than we have on the map here, so you cannot see all of those boardwalks and things there. But, Corey, you know them to be there. And, Emin, you don't know about those. These are a recent thing. But... Corey, in your time here in Hither, you have... just a moment. Yeah, you know that that whole area with all of those boardwalks is the Brigands' Tollway, which is where the Harangons hold sway. And the boardwalks there are just snaking through the swamp and the waterways surrounding their home, which is that giant tree stump in the middle of the boardwalks. Let's see. I'm trying to remember, where was it written? So I'm just trying to remember the dimensions of that thing. It's gigantic. It's like 80. Yeah, it's 80 feet across and 30 feet tall. That tree stump.
Yep, it's very large.
Yes,
Holy
indeed.
moly.
Yes,
So-
indeed.
From the slanty tower where we are on top of Abbott, about how far in miles would you say the tree stump is through the mist?
This is the Feywild, my friend. You have no idea.
Oh,
Yes.
And Corey and Emin, you tell Willie that when he asks you as you're looking out the
Just
window.
like, how
He's
far
like,
is it?
well, it looks where it is. It's right there, but it could take an hour or so, or it could take a week or so.
It really depends on which way the water flows that day.
And how usually Zabilna is feeling, but maybe at the moment, if Bavlorna has taken control of this area, then maybe it is down to her whims.
A little bit. Yes, just a wee bit. Just a touch.
You know, Willie, my dad used to tell me whenever I would ask something like that, we'll get there when we get there.
yeah. I heard something similar, that objects in line of sight may be closer than they appear.
Yeah, that's true. Mom used to say that.
Oh man, you took me back there, Charlie. We were watching Jurassic Park when it was out in the cinema, the original one, and And I was, a young kid, and I went with my dad. And at one point, when it did that joke, with the T-Rex in the mirror of the car, I was like so focused on the dinosaur as a kid, I didn't read that on the mirror at all.
Oh.
And then, but my dad just bust up laughing in the middle of that terrifying chase scene in my eyes. And I was like, "What on earth were you laughing about?" And he said about that.
Aww.
British mirrors don't say that on cars. I remember laughing about
Not
that
in
again when we
Australia
went to America and we got a rent a car and it had it on the wing mirror and I was like, "Hey!"
There's the joke.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a real thing.
Excuse me. So yes, the tree stump there is on the edge of your vision as you can see things here. Willie, you notice as Emin mentions his father, he kind of looks wistfully to the right. And I am going to go left, right, up, down instead of cardinal directions for our time here, as we are away from compasses and all those magnetic things. And you see him looking off to the far right, and you see the wall of shimmering mist that clings to mountains on the edge. And Emin, you look wistfully in the direction you know your home to be. Beyond, in another fragment of Prismia.
Why do you look so disconcerted and forlorn, my friend? It is only fog.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that, Willie. It's not the fog, it's what's supposed to be on the other side of the fog.
Yeah, more of Prismia, I would assume, yeah?
Yeah, no, that's right. But my home, my family's supposed to be over there.
What do you mean supposed? Can you not just travel and go see them? I mean, we are here. Can we not just take the journey unless it is too far away?
Corey, you know that there are specific entities in each zone. Well, at least it's true for this zone. You're not sure about the others. But there are guides and the hags themselves who are the only ones who are able to traverse the mists reliably and end up where you want to be.
I think that Corey is probably, if this conversation is happening as we've been trying to saddle up Abbott, Corey has just kind of been quite silent, quite pensive actually, helping Daisha get up onto the snail without death, but very much thinking of things like passages and ways through, and like having like this strong sense of empathy for Emin, and also kind of wanting to slap Billy just a little bit without like not like with like anger, just like, you really don't know how to not put your foot in it, do you? Just kind of like in the back of head. No like true animosity, just like, oh, sweet, sweet summer child. If only you knew.
I would like to think that, Emin having spent enough time with Willie to have been used to his inquisitive nature, he would see Corey's face and he would go, no, it's a fair question. You would think, right? You would think logic would dictate, but
this isn't a place of logic, though.
There you go.
Oh. So what you are saying is the usual rules of the material world are thrown out the proverbial window, and I should take all of my normal assumptions and cast them aside and wait for empirical evidence before making any judgments about what I see or experience here. Is this what you are saying?
That's a roundabout way of saying don't put your foot in it.
Yeah.
Groaning as she gets on.
Yeah, I understand.
Not everyone can just... Ooh, hello, spider. Not everyone can just go home, Billy. even if they want to.
A simple enough answer. I apologize if I offended you, Emin. I mean, was not my intention. So, Sir Talivar, you were telling me about your history after you became of age. Tell me about your first sword.
Well, sir.
I think that
Yes.
Corey looks quite like, whether or not you've realized what you've done, Corey looks quite upset and is just going to go ahead and scout. She's not ditching the party by any means, but she is very much keeping distance.
So yeah,
for a bit.
after a short while, you quickly catch the trick to these stilts, and you slowly, like one of those, those amazing like stilt walkers at like music festivals and things.
Yeah.
Everyone, do yourself a favor, and once we're finished today, pop over to YouTube and look up videos and clips of a music festival in England called Boomtown. It's incredible. They have zones. There's like a pirate zone, and there's a Wild West zone, and there's the main stage. And every year there is a story, and the story is ongoing through the whole thing. Like at one point, the pirates were driven out of the festival, and then 3 years later they invaded and came back. And like it's just like,
oh my gosh,
it's incredible. And the final stage, the massive stage they have for the final thing, with it's got like fire dancers and like pyrotechnics and fireworks going off. It's incredible. And they have some of these amazing stilt walkers and things doing like cool like steampunk kind of things. Anyway, sorry, distracted. Quickly get the hang of this, and you slowly go kind of like loping off and kind of spiraling around. Give me a you said you were being stealthy, so give me a stealth check, please.
Okay. I'd also like to take a quick glance at my hair. Has it reacted to anything? I said it's a 17 for stealth, by the way.
Nice. Well, you tell me. What do you think? What do you think would have been the reaction there?
I think that maybe it would have grown a little bit and maybe gripped her shoulder a little bit tighter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Maybe.
Thank you, Mana.
Maybe a small amount of a flurry of. Like a small flurry of maybe lavender for soothing.
Okay.
But there is like a slight
relaxing scent.
Yeah, but there's a slight possessiveness to it. For sure.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, the entwined vines and stalks tighten a little. You feel them kind of almost like an embrace, but as much as it can from its point where it's growing there. You
don't act like you're not part of the problem.
You silently, with barely a splash, make your way off into the trees in the direction that you're going to be heading, and also give me a perception check to see how well the scouting goes. Yeah. And while you're doing that, welcome, Mana. Thank you. I'll give you a Discord invite later, so have a look at that.
27.
27?
My girls can see.
Well, anything that comes your way. I mean, you're acutely aware of all of the wildlife that's around. It's a little more subdued now that the waters have risen. That usually all of the frogs and insects sort of will be up on their various tree trunks and things and chirping away. A big chunk of them are off swimming and enjoying the return to a watery environment. So it's a little quieter than it is at low water, but there are still just this plethora of creatures. Every now and then, just a gigantic, oversized butterfly or dragonfly. About the size of a French stick, just comes lazily buzzing through the trees. Nothing like the ones at the Witchlight Carnival, but a decent size nonetheless. And like Japanese insects times 10.
Yes. Just like, ooh, kabutomushi.
It's just giant horn on its nose. and
Oh,
it just
God.
it finds a tree with a nice big bubble of sap coming out of it, and stops and starts happily munching away.
Kind of cute, not going to lie.
By the way, Scarlett, I believe Mana is a friend of yours.
Yes, Mana's one of mine.
Even it reminds me, in our one shot over on Patches, I'm going to be a Beast Hearts with a mimic companion, and my mimic
Yeah.
companion's name is called Manny.
That's getting exciting.
Is that draconic for something?
It is. Yes, it is draconic for mimic, copy.
Gotcha.
The verb,
Charlie's
the
got no
verb to
present.
copy. Ooh, inspiration for Charlie. The legendary donation of Charlie,
Oh,
being
oh,
repaid
oh.
in kind with a legendary donation of Baron Dragonborn's Dream Pies.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Baron, very much. It's all my community, but thank you for the thought, sir.
Okay, so yes, Corey and Willie, you have a reroll if you ever wish to do so before the result is known. And you do
Nice.
have to stick with the second roll. That was something that's never been mentioned particularly before. But, yes, so it is
okay.
a gamble. It is a gamble.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do like a bit of fun there. And if the first one was awful, then you may as well. Okay, so as I think Willie is distracted by our good Sir Tolliver. So Daisha, are you steering Abbott?
Like, lazily, but I am.
Yes,
With my
you're-
one
yes.
1 HP. Just
Yes. Your snail racing experience has set you up well for this.
perfect.
And you know just the right little clicks and little taps of the heel on the shell that these beasts, even the non-racing ones, seem to respond to.
I reach over and I pick you said Everglade, so I'm gonna pick a cattail and put it in my ear.
Yes, indeed.
Which, if I don't know what it's a plant that it's cool. It looks neat.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, and you start to make your way towards the top right, away from the slanty tower, and towards the quaint village with its bounteous harvests, known as Mudchuckle. Mudchuckle. Now, as you're making your way through the swamp here, Corey, as you're out and about scouting around, could you please roll me a d8?
Ugh. Danger. I like it.
Oh boy.
That's an 8.
An 8. Interesting.
At least it's not 2. 2 dice. I'm having Avernus flashbacks.
Dun dun.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Delightful.
You
Was an awful lot of reading, John.
are slowly... I'm not a fast reader, so do not
Oh,
panic too
okay,
much. Do not panic too much. You are slowly making your way through the trees and the undulating waters, hoping that before too long... We actually should have a quick check here. Hoping that before too long the waters will subside again as the wells thirstily slurp up all of that excess moisture that is around. And you pause. And you hear Abbott and the faint buzz of Emin's wings. Thank you, Soundscape. That's a fly, but it'll do for Emin. As they start to get closer behind you, and you are paused on the edge of an open area of ground where things are refusing to grow.
Oh dear.
A glimpse up to the sky allows you to see that the mood of Hither has changed somewhat whilst you've been travelling through the trees and hidden from the environment's view. As you... Let's have a look here. As you are making your way towards the top right, you glimpse the sky from this clearing, and you see that the clouds that overhang the swamp are emitting a dull green light. And the trees and flowers that have been blooming and growing around you have slowly shifted as you've moved forward. You see that the leaves and the flowers are all taking on a yellowish tinge. Not in a sickly way.
Not in a sickly way.
Not in a sickly way, no. But just there's a definite prevalence towards that one colour in the various greenery. Sorry.
And
Yellow
Corey
red.
is the only one noticing this ahead of us as she's scouting, correct?
The rest of you are noticing the plants changing slowly. It's a very, it's like if
Subtle.
you watched it, it'd be difficult to see changing. But yeah, it's not like boom and they go yellow. But as Willie, as you're like entranced in conversation with your fairy dragon friend, you look up after speaking about something for a while, and it's notably different.
Can I see what I smell?
No particular smell, just the same kind of swampy organic smells that have been pervading the region as normal. But as you open out into this, as the forest opens out into this glade, it's quite far across. It's quite an open space, giving you that sight of the sky. And you see, sticking up out of the water, despite its 5-foot depth, mounds of rusted armor. Some of it elegant, similar size to you. Some of it's much larger, more crudely made. And looking at it and knowing what you do about the local environment, you recognize this as an ancient battlefield. An ancient battlefield from long ago when Eladrin did battle with the giant Fomorians that sometimes emerge from the Fey Dark beneath the surface of the Feywild and raid and pillage into the surface world. As you regard the scene, your eyes are drawn to sudden movement, and you see flitting here and there 3, 4 little pixies. Their wings leaving little trails of dust, which dissipates behind them. And all of them are the same colour as the flowers and leaves, that kind of yellowish tinge to them, as they here and there.
Okay. Are there signs in the waters of essentially a Fey circle being drawn? Like rows of mushrooms,
You can't, with the water you can't see, I'm afraid.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
Does this feel at all like natural to Emin, or is it unusual?
Which part?
The not the big open space, but the color and I guess the cloud.
You've never seen, certainly when it was under the control of Sibilna, it was never coloured like this. Usually the clouds usually weren't affected too much. It would be either cloudy or sunny depending on Sibilna's mood. The Archfey that used to be in charge of this place that Willie has lost contact with. He wants to seek out. So I think this will work for. Yes. This is the sound of the little pixies just zooming here and there and everywhere.
Pixies.
Pixies.
Does this kind of look like their territory?
These don't look like residents of the region. They seem to be manifestations connected to whatever has caused the shift in the natural environment.
Okay. I looked at the party, which is currently approaching, and like, is it very clear that if we were to move forward, that this area is very much a like going through this would get us basically where we need to go?
It is directly the direction you're wanting to go, and it is like I say, this is clearly a large battlefield, and it seems that the memory of the battle itself has kept the growth of the forest down, and almost out of respect, the forest has parted and left this whole area open, and it would be a hefty detour to go around.
All right. I'm going to tuck myself back and warn the rest of the party about what's ahead.
So you drop back to where Abbott is slowly making their way through the waters and trees.
And I explain what I've seen, but I'll also add that from the atmosphere of the environment, it felt like the area was in mourning, right? Or just was respectful?
Yeah, respectful, yes, of what happened here.
Okay. With a very pointed look in Sir Taliban's direction. With a kind of, we could move through it. It would take us a very long time to go around, and I can't guarantee that we'll actually make it out. But respectful, probably, or be prepared. I'm not too sure. I've never seen anything like this. Usually places of death are much, well, deathier, in my experience.
That little known comparative adjective.
Deathier. You know. We gotta be learning gerunds today, kids.
The opposite of Livia.
Yeah. As opposed to livelier, it's deathier.
Gotcha.
Obviously. You gotta learn opposites. I would say that I would probably request, if possible, flowers for respect that one would give to graves. And given that it's a ladron, multiple seasonal variants of that. So, like lotuses, lilies, marigold, if possible.
Emin is going to, because he hasn't done this yet, he's going to push past Corey and go like, yep, gotcha. And he's going to clap, and he's going to druid craft said flowers. He only has one spell, and that's the one.
Nice.
Okay, so sorry, what kind of flowers are you making here?
You said lotuses, lilies, and marigolds.
Yes, lotuses, white lilies particularly, orange marigolds for summers, lilies for autumns. If we're doing maybe camellias for winter.
Yep, I can do that.
Aisha's gonna get down off her snail and grab the reins to lead him.
Is it still wet?
It's still water.
But I mean, Dash is more than 5 feet tall, right?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, that's
I will.
true.
I'll get down and.
So yeah, you just slide down the shell with a little splash into the water.
Willie will splash down and approach Corey, and in a more sober demeanor, you mentioned that this is as a graveyard and we should leave tokens of respect. I hear your words. Would temporary marks of these flowers, it might fade after say an hour or so, would those suffice, do you think? That is what I am capable of giving with my prestige, my spell.
I believe that it depends on what sort of response we get from the Guardians of the Graves. If they are Guardians of Graves and not just memories of it. But I have, and like I gesture to the hair that is currently growing this bouquet. I can always lend you a flower, potentially, if somebody behaves.
I think I would like to try, just to see. And if it is not received well, I will definitely accept the offer of the flowers of your hair. And then Willie will look at the cage in his hand and also say, Oh, it went invisible, dang it. Can you see him?
Nice.
Crap, yeah. It's like,
invisibility
you should
bug.
be quiet. Yes. My purple dragon in a cage. I should turn the thing off so you can see it.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Hold on. Yes, I was trying to fiddle with it while you guys were talking. So there we go. Satalama!
Hey.
Ooh.
Hey.
Bravo.
As was also said in Jurassic Park, spared no expense.
Spared no expense.
Okay, so all of you slowly make your way forward, and you see the same sight, this large open expanse at the moment of undulating water with the dancing lights of these little pixie-like creatures twirling and swirling around the surface, reflected in the water, that same color as the leaves and flowers that have been glowing around here, and the mounds of armor and weapons rusted and half destroyed, notched blades sticking up out of the water, large Fomorian clubs and things sticking out as these creatures dance and move around.
Definitely keeping an eye out. Do we see? It doesn't feel sudden. It feels like the forest is kind of parted for this space. As we traverse through it, I'm assuming we're doing it like quite quietly and respectfully. Is there any reaction from the inhabitants?
The pixies?
Yes.
Do you move? I mean, they're dancing around all over the place. Do you wait for them to be out of the way, or do you move towards them?
Moving kind of with purpose through, as if we're allowed to. Or at least that's what Corey is doing. I won't speak for the rest of the party.
Some of them flit towards you. Curiosity kind of brings them in your direction.
If they come any closer, I'll offer them part of my bouquet.
Okay, yeah, one of them comes just sparkling and zipping across the surface of the water, and you turn to face it and proffer the flowers from the bouquet, and it pulls up and hovers in the air, almost invisible in the glow that's surrounding it, but you just can make out this tiny humanoid form, the little wings buzzing behind it, and then just with a childlike laugh, it just goes and explodes in a shower of sparks and disappears.
I see.
You see?
I didn't realize the one shot had a laugh in it. I didn't need to do the laugh.
That was an interesting reaction. Is that good or positive? Is that positive or bad?
Can I do a quick read of the situation? Is this a magical effect? Are they actually pixies, or is someone distracting us right now?
I do a retroactive insight check on that explosion.
Can I please check that kaboom?
Emin, give me a history check. Corey, give me a survival check.
Could we explode all of them?
Wouldn't be the first time.
If you want
Do
to
you
try,
think they
Daisha.
do different colors?
There are other ones buzzing around if you want to attempt to talk to one.
That's a 9 on the history check, John.
Okay.
17 on survival.
Okay. I mean, you haven't heard of anything like this before. This seems to be something new with the appearance of the hags here in Prismea. Kore, looking at the connection of the colour to the way that the mood shift has happened in the general environment, you think that they're not creatures so much as manifestations of that mood, an extension of that mood. But probably not as a distraction, just something that's in the space.
Alright. It seems to be part of this.
Yes.
I tell the others.
Daisha, what you doing?
I am going to walk up to the nearest pixie and just kind of tentatively offer my help, like expectantly.
Okay. Again, it pulls up from its dashing and whooshing around the surface of the water and comes up to kind of face height. And you see these two little suggestions of eyes where the face should be amidst. You kind of it's almost painful to look at the glow this close up. And again, same color, I'm afraid. That's, yes.
I bursted one.
Oh dear.
We don't know if that's a good thing or not yet.
The others
already is going up to the next one.
The others
and
don't seem to
offering
be
her
reacting.
hand out.
Willie is going to make an insight on what the there we go again. What the
Kaboom.
exploding pixies actually mean, and we'll be looking to see if the colors or behavior of the other pixies are changing as pixies are popping perfunctorily,
Give me
perpetually.
give me an insight check.
Just a 12. Just a 12.
Okay. The two remaining pixies are not reacting. They're still just buzzing around kind of almost randomly, just like here and there, just around the scene.
All right.
But there's no residue behind. It's just this shower of sparks, very similar to the kind of dust that's sparkling out behind them as they're flying, and just dissipating.
With his free hand holding Sir Talavar up, Willie will hold a finger out and give a soft lilting whistle to see if it attracts one of them.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Only a 10.
10? They seem to engrossed in their dance and twirling. Daisha, you run towards another. Now, this one, as you move towards it, kind of not seemingly on purpose, it's not like not trying to escape you or anything, but it moves away and just in its random dancing motion twirls away, and you kind of go after it and move towards the center of the clearing where there is a large mound of rusted armor and weapons. And as you get closer, there is a clanking sound, and two
Thank you for being an instigator.
suits of armor kind of clatter and animate and move up out of the water, the swamp water dripping off them, and stand in two approximations of humanoid form, but it is just two suits of armor. Clearly Eladrin in design, the kind of daintiness and the size of them suggests that. And the two helmets atop these animated pieces of armor are designed with an owl head design. And they both rise up. Daisha, what do you do?
Do they just rise up and not threatening, not with weapons raised, they just rise up?
What do you do?
I go, "Ooh, I don't think, guys, I think that might have," and then I am going to
As you turn,
hold on.
As you turn and talk to the others, the two suits of armor turn and mimic talking to each other.
And I'm putting my hand behind me and I'm doing this and I'm like, "Oh,
The two suits of armor put their hands behind them.
They put their hands behind them?
In the same way you do. They seem to be copying you.
Guys, watch! And I turn around and I'm like, look!
Everything you do, both suits of armor copy exactly.
See? Do you see? Look what they do! Look! I stick my snake, I turn around and stick my snaky tongue at them like,
They
to try and see.
Can't copy that. But the helmets move forward in the same way, but they have no tongues.
A for effort. Guys! And I'm just getting more and more obnoxious, like windmills.
We are in a place of death.
Yep. Yes. Turns towards the suits of armor, very awkwardly bows, and starts walking back to her snail's reign.
The two suits of armor turn around and just walk on the spot in the opposite direction, like facing the opposite way.
I'm gonna lean into Abbott and be like, I was hoping they'd follow me.
You move a certain distance away, and then they both collapse down into the water again.
The owl mask. Have I heard of that or recognize it?
Yeah, does that look familiar?
Just stylized owl mask. You know the Eladrin in their battle armor favor various animal designs.
Yes, no. Alright. Cool. Going to continue on my way, hopefully, keeping an eye out and praying that there's not secretly a million crocodiles in all of this.
Okay, you start wading across. Were you going to place the flowers anywhere in particular?
If we were passing by that middle mound, I think would have searched for something that looks vaguely like a stone or some sort of outcrop, something symbolic, and placed the flowers. And I probably would have said something that I'd been taught in Sylvan to do with the death rites of Fae, specifically, like wishing them like the sound of bluebells, amongst other things.
Is there a Sylvan hymn that is sung to the deceased?
I believe the way I've been taught death rites, there would have been something. I don't know if Cora can sing though. I would say that she would have definitely hummed it. I'm not sure if she can sing very well.
Would you try?
Oh, okay.
You don't have to. I have something prepared.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I think she tries. I think she would go through because she knows this sort of stuff fairly well.
I think
like the line between stuff.
You choose a different mound of armor and things. There's no rocks or anything visible above the water at the moment, I'm afraid. Okay. But you stay away from the animated ones just to kind of not detract from the solemnity of the moment. And you, the three of you, as you kind of watch Corey slowly balance on her stilts through the water, you see her place the flowers atop one of these mounds of armor and close her eyes, and she sings.
Damn, I sing good. I sing very well.
Colby, Steph, remember this?
I don't have Sirenscape on because my computer battery is very low. I literally X'd out of it and went to go get my charger, but I know what's playing. I know what's playing.
Yep.
I would
I
say
believe-
in this
isn't this originally the Hobbit that's now in the Vox Machina cartoon? Yes, correct.
I would
And you
say
finish.
that in this moment, like she would have taken off the hood during this, and like she hasn't removed her hood during the majority of these things, but this is like one of the few things that she would actively remove her hood for. I would say that people watching her keenly as she's going through these motions would see that she has human ears amongst like the flowers and the brambles, but there's like this hint of color to it. And maybe when she opens her eyes, there's like a faint like glow, just like the faintest, and like the hair is very reactive to that.
And
then she puts it back on.
there are delicate kind of funerary flowers through your hair as well that bloom. And then as you finish the song, they all break and the petals cascade down and just float on the water around the armor. And you start to pace on your stilts through the rest of the glade. And Daisha, Emin, Willie, you follow behind, eventually passing across the space. Daisha, do you chase down the last two?
So after getting, after Daisha realized she was getting scolded, she was like, "Oh, I don't want to be Willy about this," and is being very, very steadfast in behaving herself through this field. I love you, Charlie. I love you, Charlie.
That is a very interesting observation.
Charlie, okay.
Oh,
she didn't answer God. She didn't answer the narrator.
We are fine. We are fine. Yeah, be a Willy. I am now a t-shirt. This is good. Match opportunity. Don't be a Willy. And I am in the water, so I am a wet Willy as well.
Better when you say it.
It's somehow better because you are saying it though.
I will be saying, don't be a Willy very often.
Okay.
Yeah. Corey definitely looks like she's trying to calm herself down after that, because she hasn't been that close to something like that for a while.
Indeed. Yes, you kind of solemnly pace off and keep eyes on what's coming ahead and continue on your way. Now, let me have a look here.
No, Willie, for what it's worth, somebody's got to ask the questions. I'm just saying I appreciate you.
And
I
I
didn't say
appreciate
that
you
loud.
too, Em. Believe me, I have done much reading about this place. I am just verifying the information that I have. And it is only through curiosity that we learn and grow. Like her hair.
I did not diss you in this process. That is not something that Corey has done. Corey has just said, be respectful. That's all she's said. Multiple times.
Oh, yeah. Being very respectful to the deceased spirits of the warriors.
And you exit the glade on the far side and back into the trees.
And it's still 5 feet deep, correct?
At the moment, yes. Although after about another 45 minutes or so of travel, you all gratefully notice that more and more of Abbott and Corey's stilts are becoming visible. And the waters slowly recede and disappear from whence they came, being drawn back into the wells. And You may wish to stay on Abbott's back and flying and on your stilts, as what is left behind is the very thick and squelchy mud of the forest floor post flooding. And the sounds of the swamp come flooding back in as the various willy amphibians start. Oh, it's not the cats, no, not the cats. The various amphibians and bugs starts to emerge from the water and sing their songs and buzz about the place.
Alright. So nature it's somewhat returning to normal outside of the graveyard battle space.
It wasn't confined to the graveyard battle space itself. It seems that something was happening somewhere in hither that caused that. But after a while, that too recedes, and things return to a natural colour. Still very colourful.
So noticing that, Willie would like to ask, this is just a general question, but this was not apparently a localized effect. So what would you surmise was the causation of that odd experience that we just all shared?
The gravesite or the general swelling of the wells?
Well, I believe the wells, is the water from the old wells part of the overall mood?
Yes,
And the gravesite was localized to that particular area.
Yeah.
Corey, you would know that the waters are not connected to the mood. So the coloration of the leaves and flowers that changed was a mood-related thing, but the waters just randomly rise and fall all the time.
All right.
Regardless.
Yeah, that
and I
is what I
explained as much.
understood. So, understanding the colors of this realm, what mood would you say the yellows and the oranges are associated with?
I would say there's a sense of sobriety. It was a bit more of a mustard yellow than something like a sunflower. There are definitely essences of joy to certain colors. Though, from memory, when happiness has been kind of witnessed and there's been a reaction from the environment, it's been kind of pinks, hasn't it?
Yeah. So Trevor pipes up from the cage. Don't want to seem contrarian or anything, but my expedition to Bavlona's village and the soggy court did throw up certain insights into the fluctuations of the area.
We'd very much like to hear them, Sir Talavar.
I believe the coloration just before was that Bavlona was brewing a curse.
Oh, dear.
Yes, I spoke with the members of the Soggy Court whilst I was infiltrating the area, and yes, it seems that yellow depicts a curse, purple for poison, and red for any other number of things. But those two in particular are quite specific.
So that area was cursed, is what you're actually saying?
No. It would have been a region-wide change, which is where we happened to be as it was going on. The concoction of the cursed potion seems to be complete. He gestures
So
around
it was
to
a
the
physical
colours.
manifestation of her intention.
Yes, you see, Bavlona's mood gets a certain way. There are manifestations for all manner of things. I was witness to changes when she was scheming about things, when she was satisfied or content, or brewing something up in that terrible cauldron of hers.
I see.
I see.
Well, isn't that just magnificent?
But why would
sure
she
it's
need
not
a
for us. Maybe it was conducted for me if I was ever to be captured and returned.
Is Pavlona that kind of planner? From what I experienced when we were in the carnival, one would think they are more reactionary, more apt to act from base emotion and less calculating. Impulse. Yeah.
While that is true, one should never underestimate the schemings and manipulations of a hag.
Indeed, I am learning it is dangerous to make assumptions in this place.
Yes. Anything I tell you may be completely irrelevant in 30 minutes from now.
Yes.
Thank you for the reassurance.
And it keeps you on one's
does
toes.
Well, the information is rather welcome. Thank you, Sir Tulliver.
A pleasure, dear lady.
One final question, Sir Tulliver.
Oh.
In your investigations here, did you find that the effects, this manifestation of intention, was only localized to Bavlona herself, or are mere mortal creatures such as you and I able to affect the surrounding environment, maybe to a lesser effect? But say I intended to give you a big hug. Would the plants near me change a different color?
Well, I don't believe that would have the desired effect because it is not coming from a place of joy or love. It is merely a curiosity on your part, but that in itself is a strong emotion. Regard. And so let me bring up our good friend Sir Tulliver here as we are chatting with
Sir
him.
Tulliver! Gorgeous.
Jesus.
Fabulous. The mustache, the eyebrows. Well groomed. Tiny.
I think it's the chin for me that really.
And he gestures with his gauntleted claw over your shoulder, Willie. And as you've been making these inquiries and your curiosity has grown, and you have channeled that towards this quote unquote distinguished gentleman. Good to see you, far side of the sun. The two trees immediately behind you have also curved over in curiosity and are almost like leaning forwards to hear what Sir Tulliver has to say. I was like, well, regard, you have bled out your curiosity somewhat into the surrounding swamp. Thwack.
Yes, Clover June is a big love bug.
Tabaxi attack.
I like the idea that that's just the nature, like your curiosity just slapped you in the face, like literally with like a straight catch.
It does. So that means if we pay close attention to the environment, maybe we might be able to spot those who intend to do us harm before they know that we are aware of them. Something to think on.
Quite possibly, yes.
I thank you, Sir Tulliver. We should continue our journey. I am sick and tired of being so vet.
These local cattail reeds are quite aggressive. Okay, and so you carry on your way, and after a little while longer, who knows how long, in actuality, you
So tired.
sense the trees starting to thin out somewhat, and you suddenly, Corey, I'm scouting ahead as before you come across this. Have you kept the stilts on to keep out of the mud, or are you just squelching
Yes,
along?
pretty much.
Okay. You.
If the mud starts to harden, she'd probably put the stilts on the snail. I mean the frog.
Noted. I'm afraid, going by the module's description of hither, it never dries. Just as it starts to dry out, it floods again. So it's either difficult terrain because of the water or difficult terrain because of the mud.
I'm not gonna lie, I just picture that one episode of Doctor Who where it's like moisturize me, but it's the entire landscape.
Welcome to Florida.
That was Zoe. What's her face? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
What's the actress's name? I forget. Sorry.
I don't remember, but yeah.
But yeah. Where is? I want to.
Cora like wipes sweat off her brow, inspects how muddy she is, sighs at the thought that she'll never see a bath again.
You, suddenly, as you're thinking this to yourself, emerge from the edge of the trees, and you find yourself in fields. Although, rather strange design, necessitated by the ebb and flow of the wells and the waters that flood and recede so randomly. You find yourself amongst fields, but raised up on stilts, as large platforms, basically Minecraft farms.
Hey,
Right, there's just these logs surrounding the area,
Yep.
and then in the interior they've been filled with the rich, fertile soil, and there are little mechanisms of pump mechanisms that drape down off the edge of the platforms, which are now revealed and out of the water. But you know, when it floods, the pipes would go under the water, and you would be able to operate the handles and send the water splashing into these raised, vegetable beds, basically. And
environmental design.
they are spectacular. The vegetables, all manner of things. Canes teepeed up with large vines
zucchini.
across them, with gigantic zucchini. Yes, huge melon-sized tomatoes, ruby red, large marrow-like cucumbers, and small dog-sized marrows. And, well, no, that's it, medium dog-sized marrows. Normal marrows are small dog-sized. And I'm going to use, Willie, if you will excuse me, a recycling of an image from your initial foray into this adventure, as we go back to your fellow warlock's hut. As you,
Oh yeah.
right, as you see the cluster of villages, of village buildings, quaint cottages, but a very interesting design. These were clearly designed to be on the ground. They're normal designed cottages, but all of them at the 5-foot level have a boardwalk across the front. And the doorways, now with the waters receded and things revealed, the doorways are shored up underneath this boardwalk. There is like sandbag kind of things, like up against the lower part of the doors. And you see, simply dressed in kind of forest greens and beiges and greys and whites, a bevy of spring, summer leaning Eladrin, as they seem relatively content, although you do see strains here and there of autumn and the occasional flash of winter through the hair. Excuse me.
Bless you.
And you see Eladrin children playing in the village streets, rolling around in the mud, enjoying themselves. Let me just switch over to a more habitated kind of background sound here as you leave the swamp. And you see there are some creatures, normal things that you would expect, them, cattle and other things, but they're all slightly fey-leaning. The coloration of some of the cattle, the chicken that clucks as it flaps across the square has a beautiful kind of phoenix-like tail, like reds and oranges trailing behind it. The cow's horns are just ridiculously curly. And like spiraling off in random directions as one lumbers by. One comes across from a side street being driven by an Eladrin child with a little switch to kind of lazily tapping it on the haunches, and it has like long Highland cow fur, but in a rainbow of colours, as it just like just like moves across. And you hear somewhere off in the village an Eladrin bard kind of singing to themselves. There they go. And the bustling thing is quite takes you back quite a bit from the the quiet and all the natural sounds of the swamp that you've been used to. You see this relatively happy looking group of Eladrin in this village here, and as I said, the produce is incredible, which I shall represent, as we do not have a picture, but I shall represent it with this, as one of the farmers is clearly a pumpkin farmer, and as with all of the others, has a bounteous harvest.
Whoa. That's a lot of pumpkin.
Around their cottage as the trees encroach right up to the edges of Mudchuckle. And you have arrived. Now, in one of the raised up terrace farms up above, the currently absent waters. Hey, Fruitera, how you doing? You see a youngish male Eladrin with a hoe or some sort of implement, kind of tilling the soil round some of the rather lush vegetation and vegetables growing in that. And he kind of stops, like plunks the hoe down and like leans on the handle. He's like, "Oh, hello there.
Greetings. We seek
Welcome.
shelter and rest.
Well, shelter you have found. Welcome to Mudchuckle."
I look at my companions.
I'm sorry. This all seems way too good to be true. This is like what do you like? It's like a picture.
Well, thank you very much. We're quite happy.
How'd you do it?
I'm sorry?
How'd you... Everything's bigger than usual,
glorious?
and a lot of things here are smaller than usual, like Emmon.
He seems rather robust for one of the fairy folk.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, but he's the smallest of us.
Well, that's going to happen. There's always going to be a smallest and a largest. Is your snail friend there to be lauded as the largest group of the party? Should I address
This
them
is a
instead
frog.
of you?
It's a frog.
This is a frog.
How curious. I don't think I've ever seen anything of its like.
Very rare frog.
Very rare indeed, yes. So where
Turns
is to
to
be a
Emmett
giant
is like-
snail? Oh,
Listen, we're looking for somewhere to stay. Do you guys have like an inn or?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, we have the lovely inns down in the center of the main street down there, and he points down in the direction of the main habitation there. Yes. I believe. Well, we don't have many visitors around here at the moment with all that's going on. But yes. There will definitely be rooms there. It's called the Pungent Pleasure.
Right, the Pungent Pleasure. Understood.
Yes.
Of course it is.
Drangor's the head of the place there. Drangor Pierce. They'll welcome you on in there.
All right, and your name is?
Hang on, I do have a name.
Wow.
I can't just make this one up. I have to actually look what it is. I'm gonna be loyal to our sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? Excuse me. Sorry, I should have written this down in my notes here. Oh yes, there we go. My name's Everett.
Everett.
Everett, yes.
Pleasure.
Yes. Oh, yeah, pleasure's all mine. May have your names too, if we're exchanging pleasantries.
Corey.
Corey, oi, nice to meet you. M? Oh, short name for a short fellow.
Aisha.
Sure, nice. Oi.
And I am Willy Grime.
Villy, nice to meet you, Villy.
You too, Everett.
Well, don't just stand there and come on in.
Before going in, I would like to kind of be inspecting. Firstly, they're like, oh, give it when Everett said we don't have many visitors given what's going on, with a smile on their face. Could I please look deep into that sort of atmosphere and see whether or not they're being like, we've totally decided to work for the bad guy, so we won't devour all of your souls kind of vibe.
We have sympathetic people in chat. It's a trap.
Don't
May I?
know.
Yeah, I'm not getting Children of the Corn vibes yet, but
Yet. It's getting there. May
Always
I please
feasible.
see the atmosphere of the town is happy, which means the environment should be happy, which means it should be reflecting the environment, right?
It's
So-
difficult. It's difficult here because like so much of the natural environment is kept at bay here. You know, it's all
Right. It's
cultivated,
cultivated.
right? Yeah, agriculture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although,
But I want to
as Everett is kind of like smiling and looking at you, it does seem like a couple of the tomatoes behind him have little smiles on them too. Hey, a big
I'd
shout out! Hey,
kinda
Drow
like-
now, how you doing? Welcome in, Raiders. Sorry.
Heyo.
Hello.
I would like to just kind of. Can I insight check the vibe of the village?
Absolutely. Do you want to go insight or investigation?
For me, I'm looking for the emotional mood more than I am looking for like signs of trouble at the moment.
Okay.
So I suppose I'd be doing insight.
Noted.
That is 13.
13. Okay.
Mhm.
Hey, Mac. You, as you're making your way through the village streets towards the pungent pleasure, wherever it lies, it's kind of off somewhere towards the center of the village there. As I say, there are all these Eladrin kind of moving here and there, like browsing produce in these overflowing stalls in front of some of the houses that have been, wheeled out onto the decks. Now that the waters have receded, and you see there are little steps up to this decking, and you actually notice that some of the Eladrin are coming in and out of their houses, but to do so, they scoop down to where the decking is flush with where the handle is on the door, open the door, and then crawl through the top half of it into the interior before closing it behind again. And they always close it behind them. They never leave a door open because the waters could rush in at any moment. And
it's like the board in Venice.
yeah, and Drow, don't worry, Drow. This is an encounter from a CZRPG product. By the way, do jump into the giveaway if you want a chance to win it. Encounters in the Feywild. So we are completely off script from Wild Beyond the Witchlight at the moment, although there are some spillovers from the module, of course. Now, yes, Corey, you are looking around, and as you're walking through the streets, these, Eladrin are just bustling here and there, exchanging gossip and enjoying coming back out onto the streets now that the, and you see little punts, little boats and kind of little coracles tied up,
Yes.
now resting on the ground, but clearly there for when the waters come in. And
All right.
one thing, I was going to say, one thing that you do notice in particular is, it seems like a thriving community, and there are lots of Eladrin children here as well.
Yes.
And they're playing happily in the streets. But for how civilized and built up this is, the village is Mudchuckle here.
Yep.
You have seen villages like this before, and they're civilized. They have tools. They have various things that they like to play with, toys that the children. But you notice all of the children in the street are playing with rocks and sticks.
Yeah.
There are no toys
No
at all.
toys.
And you notice that it seems a few of the villagers were caught when the waters rose, and they have a 5-foot line of muddy
Oh dear.
water on their clothes, but they're not changing them. And they look very damp and uncomfortable, but they're not. They haven't gone into their houses and changed clothes and come back out, so they don't
Okay.
appear to have a change of clothes.
Seeing this, Willie will approach one of the mud-crusted.
But by the way,
Eladrin.
Everett is escorting you to the pungent pleasure.
Oh, all right. Pardon me, Everett.
Oh,
Would it
yes,
be permissible?
Villy, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Would it be permissible to offer to clean their clothing? They look so uncomfortable in those damp damn clothes.
That's mighty kind of you. I'm sure they would offer you some of their produce in return. You know how it goes.
Pardon me,
Yes.
companions. I am going to go around and see who would like to be dried and cleaned.
That's
and
f-
Are
will
the rest of us trying?
That sounds like a fascinating thing. What's the name of that magic?
prestige. It's a spell.
Most interesting.
Yeah.
I hope there's no semantic component to it.
Yeah. One does what one can.
Well, I'm sure folks will be most appreciative. Looks like a couple of folks were caught in the flood. I was up in the vegetable patch, so I was all right.
So, yeah, Willie will approach them and... Would you like to have your clothes cleaned?
Oh, thank you. That'd be most kind. Hi.
All right. Magic spell.
And the spell is cast, and the muddy water is cleaned away, and there is very quickly a small crowd of unfortunates gathered around you, hoping to be. And Willie, after a short time, returns to you, arms laden with oversized fruit and vegetables.
And how are we supposed to carry that?
Oh,
If only we had a halfling. I am sure we will be able to fashion something to strap onto the frog. But at least
Oh.
dinner is taken care of.
That's true.
It's true. We'll eat as much as we can tonight.
Willie
tell
will root around in a basket for
Everett.
a...
Yeah, Everett actually comes to you. He's like, I tell you what. If you've got something to exchange, I've got a few vegetable baskets that we could rig up to your frog's
Frog.
shell there. Yeah.
I would be most interested in working out an exchange with you, Everett. We are very amenable to this.
Oh,
But
splendid,
he will
splendid.
also pull out a softball-sized tomato and, like, take a big old bite out of it. Oh, this is delicious. Fresh produce. Would you like to bite him?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been a while since I've had something fresh.
Offered around
actually-
to everybody.
Sorry, I need to retcon something there. Everett.
Tomato?
Everett quickly jogs back to his plot and grabs a couple of baskets and brings them to you and he has like twine, like vegetable cane twine and things that he kind of branches, puts over Abbott's shell, and these two baskets are hanging off the side. He's like, "Hey, there you go." He doesn't talk about getting something in return.
Oh. You know, Everett, there's reciprocity here, I have been told. So, in return, may I clean you so you look as though your clothes had been freshly laundered?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm going to be back in the fields and as soon as we've got you settled. So no fuss, no fuss.
We insist.
No, it's quite all right. Thank you.
Why not?
They're just going to get dirty again. I'll come find you later, and you can do it at the end of the day, eh?
Willie can always get you later. He's really
I'd
good
like-
at the prestidigita.
To get you part of prestation.
I'd like to.
It's just
look
just a magical effect.
Yeah, I can do it pretty much at will. Watch! And he will snap his fingers and then clean Daisha's clothes.
Oh, well, I suppose there's no harm. Yeah, please.
Yeah. And I can clean you later, should you so wish, and I will cast the magic spell upon him.
I'd like to
Thank you.
really read into his expression at
Yeah,
this denial.
insight. That was
of-
really odd. You guys were very strong on reciprocity.
Mhm. Insight check. I guess
Please.
15.
Yeah, I want to make one too.
Anyone who would like to?
Thank you. Come on,
Daisha's
Willie
just like,
Grimm.
oh wow, my clothes are clean.
Willie Robblejax is trying to help you with the name of the spell.
Right.
Don't worry, Robblejax. We know what it is. It's just an in joke that it can't be pronounced.
What's this
I know how to say
prestidigitation?
prestidigitation. I
Although,
do.
congratulations! Almost as difficult to spell as it is to say.
It really
All
is.
right. Emin got
But
a
that's
5,
like-
so he's just like, this guy's just a weirdo.
Oh, and by the way, Roverjax, no, I have never done Lost Mines of Phandelver. I would like to sometime. I've heard good things.
15 on Cora's end.
15? Okay, Willie?
Innate. I'm so busy, like, trying to sell them on, and I'm not
Your
paying attention.
your perception is innate, yes.
Yeah.
But Corey, that is a decent roll. He seemed nervous until it was clear there was going to be no physical reward. It was just an effect, and then he acquiesced.
Because they.
Hold
Alright.
up.
Yep.
Yep. One plus one just came up with what the F. So, all right. Yeah. We should go and find rooms. It's a pungent pleasure and speak to this Mr. Pierce. You know, I am tired after our journeys. What do you think, M and D and Core?
Everyone's gonna be
let's
Syllables. With the syllables.
I like the way you decided not to, do Daisha's just sort of die.
And die.
It's like, right?
It's just the kanji for big, just and it's just too spread out.
Stop lording it over Emin, would you, Daisha? Please, come on. He's big for a fairy. Come on.
We'll say that you mentioned that there seems to be a lack of physical outside of the produce being produced, right? Like the kids were playing with rocks and sticks. Does it look like this produce, like this large amount of produce and stuff, does it look way too much for the number of people, like it is supplying something?
It looks to be enough for them to live very, very well.
All right.
It's a bounteous harvest. But this is a relatively bustling village. Sorry, Amy.
Okay.
That's okay. Is there any evidence of like how can I say brigandry, like cuts in walls, busted windows?
Give me a perception check.
A 13.
13. Not that you can see. No, I mean the
Willie,
lower 5 feet of every building is browned with mud and swamp water dried onto the walls at a regular basis. But no, there's no sign of attack or anything.
Willie will turn to Everett and say, "Your cows are much more fantastic than any I have ever seen before in my life."
Oh, really? Quite a common breed around here.
I'm quite interested to taste some milk, maybe the butter or cheese. Tell me, who owns the dairy cows around here? Who operates the dairy?
We've only got a few creatures. Just what we need. We're more focused on the agriculture side of things.
Oh, well, who owns the cows then, so that I may approach them and ask to obtain some of that most interesting milk?
Oh well, there's a few of them are owned by Jasper. He's the main bartender at the Pungent Pleasure. They have the milk and the cheese and stuff at the inn there.
Oh, so Jasper, he owns the cows. He does not farm then.
Farming cows? No. He's just a custodian of them.
Ah, very, very interesting. Well, lead on, my good man. I am quite ready to rest my feet and meet this Jasper.
Right. Yeah. Well, here we are. It's not a particularly spacious village. And you arrive at the center of the muddy thoroughfare, the main streets going through the center of these cluster of cottages and shops and businesses, and you see in a kind of half timber style, like the one in the picture here with the pumpkins, this large sprawling inn, and there is a sign hanging from the front, creaking slightly as a breeze kind of wafts through the swampy odors from the beyond the village coming in on this wind. And you look up, and it indeed has a large chunk of very pungent-looking cheese, with various rainbow colours veined through it, like blue cheese in the real world, but all kinds of colours, and in golden script around this stylized cheese design is the pungent pleasure. Which I'm very happy, because that was a randomly generated name, and I'm glad that we got onto the subject of cheese so we could tie that together nicely.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Is there a stable for the frog?
Well, there's a post here where you can tie them up. Although, if it's yours, then I don't think it will wander too far.
Hopefully not.
No, just keep it out of the vegetable patches, if you will.
Yeah, Willie will carry Sir Talavar into the inn and await his companions.
Yes. You actually, as you were going through the streets, you saw one Eladrin with a resplendent lettuce patch, and as this giant snail hoved into the door, it was like, oh, my lettuces!
Not my cabbages!
Not cabbages, no, lettuce,
cabbages.
my lettuces!
Lettuces. I would say that how does the building look comparative to the other buildings? Like,
Similar.
same sort of style of wear and tear?
Same style, same sort of age, you would say. Yeah. There seems much of a muchness here in the village.
Good to know.
And again, there is a little wooden stairway up onto the decking in front, and Everett leads the way up there, and then kneels down on the wood, opens the door, and crawls on all fours into the interior.
It's like the tea rooms when you're doing matcha tea ceremony. Yes, Corey will probably go through the whole last just to keep an eye, because she's also trying to keep an eye on whether or not people around them are really reactive to their presence, or they're like, oh, visitors, or they're like, oh, visitors, or they're going, oh, visitors. Like,
okay. So you make your way in there, and there are a couple of Eladrin. One of them is behind a decent, kind of medium-sized counter with various barrels and bottles arrayed behind it, and the other is out amongst the various tables and things here. And there are several people in, but it's not busy at this time of day particularly. You think it's so difficult looking, is the sky becoming dusky, or has something happened that's making it that colour? You're not quite sure, but it certainly feels like the end of the day after everything you've been through.
so tired.
And
It's going to be extra funny if nothing weird is going on and we're just over here being super suspicious. Extra weird.
It's perfectly decent village. No, they're all murderers.
They're terrible.
Would you like some rainbow cheese? No, it's poison.
So you arrive there, and you see that there are a few tables, but not many going on the size of the space. There should be more, and only 2 of them have chairs.
Oh.
And as you come in, the Eladrin, one of the Eladrin kind of bosses over, is like, "Oh, hello, just a moment," and he looks at you, and he's like, "Everett, are you staying?" He's like, "Oh no, Jasper, no, I'm just gonna back to the plot. Just was guiding these fine folks. Some visitors. It has been quite some time. Right. Everyone, I might have a little smidge of cheese as I'm here. Jasper, here, take some of these tomatoes." He's like, "Oh, thank you, Everett. Yeah, so I will. Yes, cheese and ale for everyone."
Oh, please, that sounds delicious.
And we have the mudchuckle salad.
Oh yeah, I would
what's
like
in
to
that?
try.
Pretty much everything you could imagine. If it's vegetable ways, there's and then a little sprinkling of cheese on top. That's pretty much all we got.
This sounds delicious. Do you only have the one type of cheese, or do you have a selection?
We have the rainbow veined, especially aged cheese, or there's the fresh and crumbly. It's a bit more recent. There's a bit of a
fresh and crumbly.
Has a bit of a tang to it, whereas the rainbow veined is a bit more of a acquired taste. It's a bit more of a punch to it.
But they are the same cheese, only of different ages. Then is this what I am to understand?
There is a certain cave that we have, and it is something. It's hard to explain, really. It's something in the walls of the cave itself, some sort of organism or something that imbues the cheese with that special extra.
I understand.
There are certain rainbow-coloured. Everyone thinks it's because the cows are rainbow-coloured, but that could change tomorrow. No. It's there's some in there are certain crystals in the wall of the cave that have this kind of prismatic colour to them, and that seems to affect the curds in some way. Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Oh, it's completely.
Let me take the.
Lily will look around for spiders. I would like to try both, please.
I wonder how they're doing. I wonder if they're still reading their tails to all of the little creatures. Sorry, just saying about spiders. I got distracted. So you were.
You can't just hint at a story like that.
It's waiting for you.
Right.
There's probably maybe the most interested in interested in showing you a piece of art from this book. It's an incredible picture in your future at some point. Okay. You wait for a moment, and Jasper gathers chairs from other tables and puts 5 of them around this one slightly longer rectangular table. And Jasper joins you briefly. Let's see. Oh, yeah, may as well have a bit of a feed before I finish up in the field.
So,
where you come from?
All over.
Really?
You? Born
How'd you
and bred
end up here? We don't see new folks around much.
We're a suspicious lot.
Well,
Chatty bunch.
All over.
I found a frog.
No,
He's outside.
I mean, not much of an achievement. The place is sick with them.
Daisha looks really offended and just like she was like, I found a frog, like trying to make conversation and kind of change the subject. And then when he says that, she's like
leans under the table and brings up this bright blue frog. Is like, oh, I found one too. There you go.
Oh, sure, you like that frog, Emin.
Willie will look slightly unsettled upon seeing the blue frog. Will be like, and will kind of edge a little bit away, but will just keep shoveling salad into his mouth as though he is making an effort not to open said mouth.
And what would you like to drink?
You said ale.
Sure. Yep. We got some nice bog ale.
Oh, this sounds very wonderful. Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. Anything else?
What's the cheese?
I'd love some bog ale.
Hey, bog ale.
What's the mood in the tavern?
There's one other Eladrin couple, and they're just like talking and eating something, but there's no one else in at the moment. People were still very much like out in the fields and bustling around in the streets as you came in.
We're also looking for somewhere to rest for the night, if that's
yeah, we got rooms upstairs, no problem.
Is there enough beds for everyone? I don't mind sleeping on the roof. Worst case scenario.
Do you have bedrolls?
Yes.
Ah, splendid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As I said, we have rooms for everyone.
What happened to the beds?
Oh. Yeah. Under refurbishment.
Who's doing
Is that where
the
all the-
I am somewhat embarrassed to admit, but I have taken to the habit of staying in inns. And perhaps you have a blanket that I might borrow for the evening?
Oh, you don't have one of your own?
No, no. Where I am from, establishments such as this one are commonplace and easy to find and quite well appointed. I never saw it was necessary until I came here.
Oh, I'm afraid a floor and the walls and a roof is what we've got, but you're welcome to it.
I've slept in worse, I suppose.
And
What's
have
the
you
bill?
had?
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
What do we pay
Evan
you?
first.
And Everett's like, no. we
Exchange.
have plenty to offer, so please take it.
And who takes
let me
it?
let me get that bog ale. Everett, give us a hand, would you? And they both bustle off towards.
I'm gonna lean towards Corey and be like, "That's against the rules, isn't that against?"
Yes. It's also very suspicious that they're used to being taken from and giving and not receiving.
As Jasper walks away from the table, I'd like to make a sleight of hand check to try to put a coin in his pocket.
Ooh.
Please.
Very interesting.
I like it.
A 12?
Okay, let's see. Passive perception. Eladrin. Do we have a stat block just for a straight Eladrin? Yes, we do. Hey.
Just one coin, so that he wouldn't notice the weight.
Yep. Okay. He does not seem to notice. You just like pop it in his pocket as he stands to go and help Jasper.
I'm gonna wait on
And,
that.
They walk away, and then they come back, and yes, thanks to Josh there. Colby, Josh has given you a little crystal.
I noticed that, yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Blessed.
You see the two of them go off, and they gather up small casks, which must be containing the bog ale, and but it takes both of them to carry it, which is why he asked Everett to help. And two of them, let's see here, the two of them come back carrying the barrel between them. And they kind of tilt it up so it won't spill. And Jasper uncorks it. It's like, okay, bog ale for everyone. Open up.
No cups.
Afraid not. Open wide. Here it comes.
I'm okay.
Yeah, Evan's gonna
Willie-
take the offer.
Willie
but-
and Evan, they answer over, and they take turns gently,
Like
gently
baby
pouring
birds.
until you gesture and they stop.
Corey will
Just give
take
us a shout
out
if you
her
want a refill.
water skin. Corey will take like one of her water skins and fill it.
Oh, I wouldn't flash that kind of thing around here.
And why not?
Strange folk with strange ways. Here you go. And
It's not that strange though. When one travels, the one usually requires some sort of hydration or sustenance.
Well, you know where it go. We want plenty of hydration, plenty of sustenance. Have anything you like.
Yes. So why is it strange to have a vessel in which to put it in? Are you okay?
It's It's
Are you okay?
Jasper says, I've got to do the thing. Bye, Everett, and good work in the fields later. I might see you later. Bustles off, carries the thing, but struggles with it by himself. And Everett turns. He's like, "Oh, don't worry. You know, it's a little bit tough sometimes, but we all have to stay positive for grandmother. You know, nobody wants to cause her any fuss. Don't fuss about it.
Well, we want to make sure that we honor the people that we're visiting correctly. Should we be doing stuff for grandmother too?
Oh, no, just pass it through as long as you're quickly on your way. I'm sure it'd be no bother. Another round. I shall get. I can get that keg off Jasper. Oh yeah, just a moment there, Willie, and quickly bustles away.
Willie will lean in when there's a moment, saying, "Clearly, through the rules of reciprocity, they exchanged bountiful harvest for all their material wealth. Obviously, they are also bound by a covenant of which you have spoken before, Corey. Just they are not allowed to speak of said covenant. They are taken care of, but they languish under a type of curse, I am thinking. But this is just conjecture."
We'll see if we can pry something out of them. Wait till they come back.
I'm wondering if grandmother is who I think it is.
Are you thinking it is the one who turned the leaves yellow?
Bingo.
Huh.
Or if not, someone who informs the one who turned the leaf yellow.
An ally.
If there's no material items and they are fed and healthy for the most part and have the ability to sustain themselves, they have given something up.
The material wealth. No cups,
Apparently
no beds,
furniture.
no chairs. One set of clothing that isn't cleaned. No toys for the children. They have given up the material wealth, refusing payment when we offer our custom. They have given up the material wealth in exchange for bumper crops of extraordinary produce. It is as plain as the
Interesting
wings on
connection.
M's back. Hence, I believe that is why you were trying to give her the coin, correct, M? To test that theory as well?
Oh, you saw that, Willie. Right. Yeah. Hold on. Look, wait till the guy comes back.
Yeah. His reaction upon discovering the coin will definitely... It will be most telling, I believe. I think the best way to understand might be to ask about the history of the village, or else mislead them with a story of a similar village that languished under famine and deprivation, and struck a bargain very similar, and to see how they react. Yeah, it is an idea. However, I will keep my mouth silent, because as we know, I sometimes have the way of putting the foot in it.
Ooh, someone is rather spiteful, aren't they?
No, somebody listens and learns. There's a difference. There's no spite. I appreciate the lessons, especially in this place, where, as I have already been demonstrated to, I cannot trust my own assumptions. So you, being a local, as it were, I must trust you as my guide.
You shouldn't. I'm not local.
Shout out to Killer Kitten. Thank you for the inspiration for Daisha.
Yes.
Then I will trust Emin. I will trust Emin as my... You are just both more experienced than I. That is all I am saying.
This is not what I remember.
Yeah.
It's not how any of us remember it.
Yeah, last time, Corey, definitely. Anytime you've been through Mudchuckle before, it was not like this.
What was it like before, Corey?
Just a regular Latrine
It
village.
was happy. An actual village with cups. There were cups with handles and everything.
Seems like a pretty low bar, if you ask me.
So
it's definitely different.
Hey, at least they still got the bar, right?
At least they still have their children.
Are there any windows in the Pungent Pleasure?
There are, the bottom half of which is clouded with mud stains on the outside, but the top half is okay.
Willie will go up to the top half of one of the windows and look out, and get a sense of the overall tonal quality of the village. What color? Where does it fall as a majority on the color wheel? Is it green? Is it yellow? Is it what? Is it? Get a sense.
How are you doing this? Are you trying to stay unseen or
No.
peek
Just
out,
like
or just looking?
like somebody who's just had a couple of huge quaffs of bog ale and a bunch of salad and cheese, and just like stretching and getting a sense of the whereabouts, just being casual. So I probably would be a performance or a deception, I think. And then like because he's actively looking, then an investigation as I look out the window. So which would
no,
you prefer?
just observing the scene. There's no particular thing
Okay.
needed. I'm not like a certain Matthew Mercer that demands a perception check on any use of the eyes whatsoever. It's like, I open the wardrobe. Is there anything inside? Perception check. It's like, is there or not? Looking for a secret door. Fair enough.
How tired are you when you observe this? I look directly to the left because I roll the 1. My God, the mahogany.
Yeah, I've definitely walked into furniture without perceiving it was there.
I would like to. Sorry, just with Corey did not eat the salad. Got the salad. I would like to say she stored it away. She's not going to be eating in front of everyone.
You bring out your Fey Tupperware.
Bring out Fey Tupperware in a bag. Just got it to the side.
Okay, and yes, you're munching on the soft and crumbly cheese. Has a nice, slightly sour taste to it. The anyone who got the rainbow veined has a very nice sharp tang to it. Where the various rainbow coloured veins kind of lightening their way through the softer cheese, although it is harder than the fresher stuff. But it's like cottage cheese and a cheddar, but with veins. And Willie, as you kind of make your way over through the sparse tables over to the window, you notice something interesting. And I think you've read about Eladrin. You're aware of them and how they represent themselves. You look out on a very different scene, and as we can hear in Sirenscape, the couple that are here in the bar are enjoying themselves. It seems the couple of female Eladrin laughing amongst about whatever they're talking about over there. But as you look out onto the street, almost with the exception of some children who are just innocent and unaware and quite happy to play with rocks and sticks, having a whale of a time regardless. You get to play in the mud. It's great. They're kind of spring and summer colours, but nearly every adult, in stark contrast to when you were walking through with Everett, nearly every adult is in either autumn or winter colours with their hair. And a couple muttering to each other as they walk right in front of the pungent pleasure see you in the window and immediately they shake their heads and it just boom, and erupts in color as they go into summer colors. And they kind of hang on, let me roll a performance check. 14, not bad. What's their charisma? Charisma's +4 as well, so it's an 18. They both put on a very convincing show of laughing and joking about something as they walk past, and that kind of ripples out. Like people notice them doing that, and it kind of ripples out, and like almost like a wave of color. You see every adult Eladrin within like 30 feet of them just slowly just changes into summer and start to act much more brightly than when you first peered out the window.
All right. Without reacting, Willie will turn from the window, return to the table, pull out his journal, unwrap it, pull out his little lead stick, and start sketching the outside of the window, and will make a very careful, of the faces of the Eladrin, but in frowns, and shade it so it looks blue, and then will surreptitiously kind of slide it and tap his finger on it so the rest of the companions can look over at the table and see what he has drawn. And then once he's certain that everybody's seen it, he will pull it back, close it, and then put it away.
You illustrate that rather fast. Good job.
Corey, Daisha, Emin, you were quite intrigued by this. Until this point, Willie has very rarely sketched. He's always been writing notes and writing words and things. But yeah, as he slides this over to, it's entirely pictorial.
I like your cross-hatching.
Thank you. It just seems to come naturally these days.
It's really very nice. Very lifelike.
I appreciate it. That is a very kind compliment.
Willie.
Yeah.
As you talk about that, and think on what just happened and why you did that, you get a very strong sense towards the top left, geographically speaking.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that's you.
Geographically speaking.
Yes.
Hither top left.
Okay.
And you are acutely aware that that which was taken is here in Hither. That strange, bug-eyed, amphibious-looking creature that confronted you in your ill-advised adventure in the roller coaster interior seems to have taken that particular thing. And it is somewhere here. And along with that feeling, that sense, that direction pulling you towards the top left, there is also, in the distance, on the edge of your hearing, a rather mournful child's laugh.
Do I recognize it from my time inside the ride?
No. But you do remember that whilst you were at the Witchlight Carnival, you witnessed a child losing their ability to smile and laugh.
Oh, right.
The three of you, as you sit there, Willie will go stock still and crane his head as though he's listening to something outward and beyond. And his rather kind of innocent face, like curious and clueless, you'll watch it harden into a very, very deep resolve, and you will see a flash of something steely behind his eyes that's a little discomfiting, because you can tell there is just a lot of anger back there and just intense purpose. And then he shakes him. Oh, I am sorry. I was just lost in my thoughts. So, interesting things are afoot here in Mud Chuckle.
I think Corey gives you a very slow blink that is just understanding and appreciative, but says nothing.
And Willie looks back and nods and goes back to, I wonder if we can get more of this amazing bog wine. It was delicious, y'all.
Was it? Turn to Emin.
That's pretty good.
I've drank worse.
True.
So have I. So none of you have seen her consume any food or drink in front of you at all, ever.
I'm just kind of afraid because we're gonna catch you one day and be like,
Oh my god.
You'll find out eventually.
oh yeah.
Now,
But yeah, no, definitely.
you,
Though it looks over to Daisha. Is Daisha looking okay?
I'm just chilling here with my 1 hit point, feeling kind of sick, wanting to
I
take
was
a
about
nap,
to say.
but
Well.
otherwise all good.
you are
Conscious
welcome
and
to rest
upright.
here. And the evening will come. And you actually do, as you're spending your time here, a few other Eladrin do start to come in, and the place starts to get a little busier. And you notice there is only ever an exchange of produce.
Yep.
Like the farmers bring something from their fields, and Jasper, what was the other guy's name?
Everett.
No, not the local, the owner here, Drangor.
Drangor, yeah.
Yeah, Drangor and Jasper, the two people who run this place. They deliver food. There's also fried chicken, minus the phoenix tail.
Kawaki ga hoshii.
They have spiced tomato soup with a spicy kick, quote unquote. And there are cheese and bacon baked in potato skins as well. But they're like melon rinds. These massive potato skins.
Willie, having
I'm
not
hungry.
eaten since the carnival and the incident with the pastries, we'll order one of each.
You had good berries.
Oh, that
but
is
they are
true.
tiny. They are tiny.
Yes,
I
except
wanted
they fill you
spicy
up for a
tomato
day.
soup.
My mama is from the Darelands. We have big breakfast, and big luncheon, and big tea time, and big supper. And don't get me started on dinner.
And the pastries. My God, the pastries.
The pastries.
Now, you... I must remember, note to self, any of my adventures go to the Dalelands from now, it is Germany. The real world Barovian style, not Dark Realms, Ravenloft Barovian. Okay, so yes, you spend some time here. Now, Everett, as he went over to help Jasper there and came back and baby birded you some more ale, goes over and places the keg back behind the bar. He's like, well, I must make the most of the daylight before we call it a day. I'll be back for some supper later, so if you're still kicking about, I'll come and say hello. Maybe some of the local musicians will come in later and maybe have a bit of a tune, a bit of a sing-song. Right, so back to the field. Yeah, farewell, lovely, bye, thank you, yep, bye. And he walks out towards the exit. And he
I lean
opens up the
Who's
door,
following him?
clambers up onto the boardwalk, crawls through, and closes it behind him very carefully, making sure that the seal is there in case the waters come flooding back, and steps out into the streets. Corey, sorry, what did you say, doing?
Who's following him?
Following him outside, or just following to the window and watching?
I'm just checking if anybody else is, because if not,
Oh, he said, "Who's
Corey
following
was going to
me?"
go up to
Sorry.
the. Yep. If not, Corey was going to pop over to the window, just casually, with wine like now filled with bog ale, skin in hand.
Okay, yeah, you go in there,
Just
you lean up against the wall. Plenty of space, no tables up here
I'd
against
like-
the wall.
I'd like to be as stealthy as possible.
Please roll me a stutter.
Come on. Ooh, muddy 20. Non-natural.
Okay. If you've got a mountain fly flux, I saw a few muddy 20s flying around before.
We are in Mud Chuckle.
Mud chuckle, yeah. Muddy 20s and mud
It is
chuckle.
appropriate.
Muddy 20.
Scrog, too many emotes. Where is the muddy 20? Where are you?
Probably me.
Oh wait, it wasn't. I don't have a muddy 20.
Oh, and I don't have it yet either.
I have
but
muddy
I'm
20.
I'm flying our
Yeah.
new emotes from our channel. So.
Yay.
Muddy 20.
That's not.
There you go.
It's not a muddy 20. That's a natural 21, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
right.
get
Muds.
one made.
Nice.
Um,
So yes,
does lean over,
Oh, cool.
checks out
you
what's going on.
you make your way over to the window, and you, being stealthy and unnoticed, do see the sight of an entirely autumnal, wintry scene of the Eladrin outside in a very different frame of joy than you experienced as whilst you were outside. And you see a couple of them kind of nod disconsolately to Everett, who just like sighs on the porch, and then just like puts one hand down and vaults down into the mud and squelches down. And then there is a rush of movement from the right side of the window.
Yep.
And you see a bunch of the Eladrin draw back, and a few parents gather up children and run behind the buildings off the main street. And everyone else is pushed up against the sides of the street. And Everett has been barreled to the ground and is lying in the mud with
Yes.
a 1 foot tall, lanky-limbed, gangly-looking creature, half wrapped in some sort of black tattered robe, hooded, and you see protruding from it, almost like a frog-like snout, and 2 bulbous eyes emerging from under the hood, as this, a 1 foot tall version of this creature, has streaked down the street unbelievably fast and smashed into Emmon, knocking him to the ground. And you can just hear, even through the muffled window, and the people in the tavern like hear something's happening, and they kind of start talking louder and laughing more boisterously. But Corey, next to the window, you can hear, Where is it? Not yours, mine. Not yours, mine. Mine. Not yours, mine. And Everett's like, I don't know what you mean. Wait, I don't have nothing. And he's like, no, smells it. Smells it. And there's these strange lanky, like kind of almost like frog-like limbs with this kind of suckered hands, and just rummaging through his clothes. And eventually they go to his pockets. And naughty, keeping it from grandmother. Now this mine, not yours, mine. And it pulls out a gold piece.
Yep.
And Everett's like, I swear, I don't know where it came from. I didn't have it. It's not mine. It's yours. Of course, it's yours, grandmother. It's not mine. He's like, yes, stupid elf. And just like reaches up, and with that one suckered hand just smack across Everett's face. He's like, he cries out in pain. And then disappears just as fast as it arrived. And nobody goes to Everett's aid. Everyone just kind of rushes off the street, disappearing into their houses and moving away as quickly as possible. And Everett wipes his bloodied nose on his clean sleeve from the spell, and picks himself up out of the mud. He's shakes his head confusedly, not knowing what's happened, and just head bowed, shoulders slumped, starts walking down the street towards his vegetable patch once more. And we shall leave things there. As we leave the Feywild for one more week.
I definitely think Corey had a very bad reaction already to the signs of winter and autumn, and then had an even worse reaction when that happened. Oh boy.
A huge thank you to my players. Thank you, Emin, for giving us a nice ending to finish on.
Good stuff, man.
And we will find out just what is going on in Mudchuckle as we return next time. A huge thank you to everyone that's joined us. Thank you for hanging out there in chat and enjoying our journey through the Feywilds together. Lots of interesting Fey things going on today. It was very nice to play through some random encounters and a little bit of original story from our good friend CZRPG. Our good friend who has given us a deal, a fantastic bundle of Fey encounters for you to use in your games, be they in the Feywild or any mystical natural environment. Thank you all, and do stick around. Let's see who is the lucky winner. Let me give you one last chance. If you are not already, thank you, Streamlabs, ! Enter there if you would like your chance to win the Feywild Encounter Bundle from CZRPG, as we are going to be drawing that after we quickly go around here and see what is going on with our friends and here on QuestJunkiesUK. Scarlet, thank you, as always. What do you have on the immediate horizon?
Oh gosh, as always, so many. I will be with our beloved GM on QuestJunkiesUK's channel on Saturday night for me and Saturday night for you, I think, for Humblewood one shot question mark and throw it where you can see both of us playing birds, which will be awesome because I love playing birds. In my end of the world, the College of Inspiration has started its Arc Point campaign, which is our first campaign. I have done all of the character animated sprite work as well as the overlay work, and our good friend Eldritch Flatcap has done all of the NPC art. Buildings are on fire, and it's been great. And there's been ship moments and melted chocolate horses. It's been a wild and fun ride so far. I'd like to give them a check out. That would be wonderful for me. And then on Patreon, this next coming character is a Silver Dragonborn based off Sean Connery in love with themselves. So if you'd like to check that out, consider checking out my Patreon.
Excellent. Yes, there is the link in chat. Do head on over there and jump on all of that. And it should be said that the lady sandwiched between us here on the overlay will also be joining us for that Humblewood one-shot, as will Mason as well from our Barovia and Beyond campaign, as well as the giver of inspiration, Josh, who will be also joining us as, what's Josh playing? A Luma Druid, Circle of Spores, like Mason's Druid in Barovia. Mason will be playing a Vulpin Wizard Rogue. It'll be interesting to see how that comes out. A foxy fellow, much as Mason is in real life. And Steph, you're playing a Jerbeen.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a Jerbeen.
Yeah, Jerbeen with the massive ears and the little.
Yes. I'm a pigeon.
Peace Domain cleric. Yes, you are a pigeon, a bardic
College
pigeon.
of Coos.
College of Coos.
College of Coos.
And I will be playing a raptor, a sea eagle, with my mimic friend Manny, as we will be venturing into the Humblewood once more. I just need to determine which part of the Humblewood has the mimic colony that I grew up in. I'm not sure which.
Excellent.
Thank you, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, for that wonderful thing. Now, moving on over, DM Charlie, what's going on, friend?
First, I gotta say the fact that you're playing a sea eagle is rather stellar.
Hey.
Aha. Audubon
got
jokes. Stellar sea eagle is a very big nerds. Okay. Hi. Hello, I'm a nerd. Thank you for coming. DM Charlie. I am the face and head of a cadre of pro DMs and an incredibly amazing community of diverse, inclusive, super supportive, super passionate gamers.
Can confirm.
We've all come around our love for TTRPGs. If you're interested in the server, you can send me a message and I will invite you in. We only have one rule: don't be a beep hole, right? That's our one rule. We are usually on Sunday nights here in Twitchland with our Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, a Twitch experiment, as you watch the six of us, I guess, because I'm in there too, fumble our way through the content and the world of streaming. We will not be on this week because of the national sports balling event that would be right. We'd be right in the sports ball, Bengals and Rams. Who cares? You know,
I love
it's
it.
not the Seahawks. Yeah.
Our friend and previous cast member Michael sent me a message, and we were talking about the new trailer that must be coming up for the new Star Trek show. We said,
Yeah.
and he wanted to say that it's probably going to be released in the Super Bowl show,
Ooh.
or halftime thing. But the autocorrect said, yeah, it'll probably be released with the Superb Owl.
That's
Legion of
so
Boom.
much better.
Superb
Right
Owl.
on, far side. Yeah, so there is that. You can also find us at dmcharliegaming.com if you're interested in joining one of the campaigns that we've got. We also offer monthly one-shots for free, so you can try out the DMs if you've never played with a pro DM. Big news in that, the very own Frictionless Dan, who wrote the Slanty Tower content, he ran through a vetting game with us. Guy is amazing. He is joining us as our latest add to the cadre of professional DMs. So if you want to play with an amazing DM who writes content, published platinum bestseller content,
Tried and tested.
tried and tested, yeah, we run them through their paces to make sure that you're going to get an experience, an exceptional roleplay experience. And then lastly, thanks to John's advice, I finally joined Twitter, and you can find me at DMCharlieGaming on the Twitter space. I could use the follows, please. Come on, please.
It takes a while, but the momentum will get rolling.
Yeah.
Do not worry.
I'm
I need to
not
update
worried
your.
about the cloud. Yeah.
I need to update your thing there. Sorry, there's the Twitch channel, please, in the links
Yeah.
over there in chat. But I shall get
Yeah.
the other stuff in there as well.
Absolutely.
Send me a message with the links for that. Would you?
Oh, I will,
Yeah,
John.
I'll get
It's
that
all
in
good.
there. Right. Okay. Thank you. As for us, yes, I too shall be over in the Humblewood with Stephanie and Scarlett and our other friends. But before that, later on today for me, tomorrow morning for you in the North Americas, we will be returning to Chicenta as we play the upcoming CZRPG campaign, Chicenta's Tyranny. We'll be diving back into that and enjoying that continuing adventure. Then, tomorrow, as I said, we'll be over on QuestJunkiesUK. Let me give them another shout out. Do head on over there and prepare thyself for fun and frolics. Boom! That is Patch's channel there, and also you can get in touch with them if you want to get yourself some beautiful animated introductions and things like we have for our shows. Then that'll bring us into next week, where we have Rhyme of the Frost Maiden, Out of the Abyss, Barovia and Beyond, and back to the Feywild once more. Do join us whenever and wherever you are able. The full schedule is on our Twitch channel there, and will rather handily-dandily present itself in your local time zone. So I shall not attempt to confuse you with when those things are happening, because it's lots of time zones involved here. So yes, jump on over there and see when that is going on for you, and we look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. Thank you so much for the raids today, the follows. Though new followers, please look in your Twitch whispers for your invitation to our followers Discord. And last but not least, let us see who is walking away with the fabulous Feywild Encounter Bundle from CCRPG, including this encounter that we are enjoying in the village of Mudchuckle, although that is not the name that is given in there. That was a randomly generated thing that I came up with before. So, closing the entries, you have had your chances all in. They are closed. Tonight's copy of Encounters in the Feywild from CZRPG goes to... drumroll... Drow! A suitable thanks for the raid that came in. Thank you, Drow. It's a pleasure to see you as always. And I'm looking forward to commissioning your beautiful art someday. Wonderful, wonderful artists. Do please check them out. So I will be contacting you somewhere, probably on Discord, and give you a shout and send those presents in your direction. Right, okay, thank you everyone. That is all we have time for today, but we will head off a raiding. Stick around and get yourself some of those Dream Pie channel points for sticking with the raid as we spread the love forward. Who is going about their stuff today? Do we have any of our stream team? Let's see. I don't think so. Wow, there's lots of people online.
Yeah, right?
Oof. Let's see here. Should we go and raid and support that little-known Critical Role champ? No, they're fine. I think they're good. 57,000 people watching.
Good Lord.
Let's see. Let's mix it up here. Someone who doesn't particularly need the views either, but an interesting view nonetheless. Our friend, the legendary J, Lord Gasumba, is broadcasting, and they play early first, second edition games of D&D, and they have the most incredible physical terrain from their friend Mike Disney, who gave us a follow yesterday. So, in thanks for that, and the support that Jay gives us, supported the charity event over the weekend, running their own charity event this weekend. Please do check that out. I'm sure there's going to be news of that in their stream that they're doing now. So, let's head on over to Lord Gasumba and show the love. Let those phoenixes fly if you've got them, and stick around for that raid. But that's all for today. And as we like to say
really
around...
3 hours? Are you sure you don't owe us another hour, John?
3 hours, 4 minutes.
Dang, that went so
6
fast.
seconds Twitch.
Is it next week yet?
Almost, my friend. Almost. It'll be here before you know it. Right, okay, folks. Thank you so much. So, it is time to wrap up. Stick around for the raid. Let those phoenixes fly. But as we like to say around these parts, Oyasumi na say. Bye, everybody.
Oyasumi.
Thank you.